Lorenz Luciano was the first race winner of the 2021 Northern Talent Cup. The Belgian coming out on top in a race-long duel to take victory from Czech rider Jakub Goretzky by less than a tenth of a second in tricky conditions at Le Mans. Jonas Koczarek took a lonelier third, and it was an all-new track for everybody here in the NTC. As you can see, getting to grips with some extremely tricky conditions, putting through their paces on possibly the biggest stage they've faced yet in their careers. For riders coming from Northern, Central and Eastern Europe, this is the first step on the road to MotoGP ladder and a chance to shine in front of all their heroes. So sit back, get ready, because race 2 is coming up next. A very warm welcome to you from the Le Mans circuit. Today has been the Chartres Grand Prix de France, and this is the final race action taking place on the circuit for today's race day. But the race has already been delayed due to the weather conditions. Just as the Moto E race finished, there was a huge downpour which has completely soaked the track once again. And seeing as it's meant to be drying out over the next few minutes or so, organisers have delayed the start by about 5 minutes or so. My name's Matt Dunn. Alongside me as ever with these Talent Cup programmes have Fran Wild. A very warm welcome back to the box, Fran. A little bit more time to chat about yesterday's race.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was lucky enough to have paid the price for that downpour myself, coming from Moto E Parc Fermé up here. Lovely and wet, and it's very windy, as you can see on your screens windy there with the trees. We had a few things threatening to take off in pit lane, but it's calmed down a little bit, I think.
Including some very small, hapless Northern Talent Cup riders?
Hopefully not. But speaking of Northern Talent Cup riders then, this will end up, I think... we've had a crash.
There's a rider going round already. Gone down. My goodness.
Exact same thing happened in another race earlier on. Hopefully, be able to get back up and get out there.
Oh, it's the number 18.
That's
Noah Kloepers. The Dutch rider has gone down.
Yeah, that must hurt as well. And it was on the live.
Oh, sorry, the Belgian rider, my goodness.
Yeah, the Belgian Black Knights team with that great livery. Okay, so he's up and okay and back on track then. No harm seemingly done. But that does prove the point that we must start this broadcast with. Pretty treacherous once again, a little bit similar to yesterday. The guys who went well yesterday, I think, will be feeling a little more settled than some to see that it's similar. But I think the man on pole may be kind of ruining what just happened.
Yeah, perhaps that could be true. He's right in the middle of your picture there on the yellow bike. The number 92 of Rossi Moore has been the man to beat, the rider to beat in testing and, of course, the free practice sessions and then qualifying as well, putting his machine on pole position. However, yesterday's race came to a very premature end. It lasted all but 4 corners for the Hungarian-American.
Yeah, just lost the rear and boop, down he went out the race lead, and he kept it so calm all weekend despite the different stage. Obviously at Oschersleben we saw him have quite an advantage on the field, but once we were here and around this Le Mans track, it was a little bit of a different story, although he did pull it out again in qualifying. So I think it'd be interesting now. I wouldn't be surprised to see him quite a bit more cautious this time around, maybe not as eager to lead as he was yesterday.
Well, I did manage to catch him yesterday on the exit of the circuit and did ask, said, hey, keep it calm today because you could be on for a pretty good result. And he said, well, I thought I went calm. I don't really know what happened at turn 4, just went away from me.
This was all in fluent Hungarian, of course.
Well, with born in American, his English is absolutely completely fluent. So but a very noticeable accent actually from his parents. I didn't realise this. He was hanging out with Kevin well, I've lost his name. I can't remember where
Kevin
it was gone.
Farkas?
Yes, that's the one.
Teammate,
Kevin Farkas, my goodness, yeah. So, speaking fluent Hungarian.
It's impressive stuff, though, isn't it? We love those dual nationalities. I'm very jealous, having been so painfully British since birth. But yeah, so he is American-born, Hungarian. Really impressive form. Even though he's a rookie, expect him to be in that fight at the front if he can, like we say, avoid those early mistakes of yesterday. Likewise, the number 6 on your screen there, the white bike, Jacopo Hostruk. We'll get it right. We're trying our best. Romanian rider, good experience from last year and usually pretty fast and at the front, but yeah, yesterday just overcooked it and lost out on the chance to fight for that podium. He's another one looking for a little bit of redemption. As did the number 65 of Damien Boursenkool, the Dutch rider, crashed out of the final corner yesterday.
in sympathy with one of the other riders that went down, and I think it was Tibor Varka, wasn't it, after he was on a naughty step already?
No, I don't think it was. He got the double long lap for a jump start
he did, yeah.
after already having had a grid penalty. Who was it that also went down at the final corner? Yes,
Brandl.
It was Corbinian Brandl, it was. So yeah, some bad luck for them as well early on. But no such bad luck for this guy.
Yeah, exactly. We were gifted to a real excellent start to the 2021 season, weren't we, with Lorenz Luciano versus Jakub Goretzky. Very lonely third, as I mentioned in the intro, for Kocarek, the other Czech rider, but these two out the front. Just awesome to watch them both learn from each other. You know, it was Goretzky out front for quite some time. Lorenz Luciano caught him up, and then just sort of sat behind each other for a while, and then had a great battle all the way to the line.
Yeah, it was great. It was a bit of a concertina, wasn't it? One out front, then the other. But yeah, by the final lap, absolutely locked together. There's an amazing photo that I got and put in the press release yesterday, where it looks like Luciano has almost just got an extra leg. You just almost not see Goretzky behind him, but it's really, really cool. They were so close together, and yet over the line it was less than a tenth, I think, in the end. So
because of some of those moves, we have affectionately named Lorenz Lungiano.
There we go. I was like, have we? But yeah, I remember that now.
So expecting more of that today.
Said with love for those lunges, because there was some impressive stuff from the number 81. And he seemed to lose out a lot of distance, whereas in sort of a certainly Moto2 or MotoGP kind of race, you'd be like, oh, okay, well, that's over now, because they're not going to catch up that amount of space. But no, he did. He tagged back onto the back of Goretzky and got the job done to cross the line ahead. So impressive stuff from the number 81, and likewise from Goretzky, who was, with him all the way.
But what can Rossi Moore do here today? He's got to stay on the bike, and then, well, will the others be able to cling onto the back of him? He's not actually got any race distance experience here under his belt, especially particularly in these conditions. Have they been in too much rain over the course of the weekend? I guess yesterday was probably the rainiest conditions, was it not?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. On Friday, I think they escaped the worst of it, as did Moto E. Really bit the Moto3 class on day one, those damp conditions. And yeah, it's just yesterday where they've got kind of the experience of similar conditions. Looking out the box now, I don't think it's still raining, is it? I can't see any drops on the camera.
Stop now.
So hopefully then it will be once again a drying track rather than anything too dramatic for these guys.
Well then, so we got a little bit longer before these riders head off on their warm-up lap. And you saw they actually did have two sighting laps, most of them coming through pit lane, just get a little bit more experience on the track. The thing is with Le Mans here, with it being so windy as well, we could find ourselves in a similar situation to yesterday, with the track becoming mostly dry by the time we actually finish this race.
Yeah, exactly, and then that's its own challenge, isn't it, when you start the race on wet. We saw in the Moto3 class earlier, no spoilers, the rider in second taking quite a different line at times, trying to look for those wet patches, cool the tyres down. It's going to be an interesting one again, but it's not as sunny as it was yesterday. It kind of came after the storm on Saturday, but today I think we've got more chance of it ending up still a little bit damp by the end of this one.
Yeah, let's see. Just adds a whole new dynamic to it, doesn't it? And that is the number 6 of Hoschuk, the Romanian rider that we saw went down yesterday. Turn 3, I think it was. Just a very sad joining of the Turn 3 club for the Romanian.
So easily done, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it has been done many a times in the races we've already had today.
Many a time. I think so far today we're up to 117 crashes.
Really?
Across the Grand Prix classes, not including Carlos Tatai's excursion. So yeah, it's been quite a day of attrition here at Le Mans with very, very tricky conditions, but these guys now, at least they've got some experience of them from yesterday.
Well, we've got the number 68 of Cass Beekmans in the back of your picture there, but that is Jonas Kocarek, which, as we mentioned, for the old language lovers out there, Kocarek actually means male kitten in the Czech Republic.
If we've been told wrong by our Czech friend on this,
we've
ruined two entire race broadcasts.
I told him that we said this yesterday. He laughed, but didn't indicate that he has just pulled a tremendous trick on us or anything like that.
And he would, knowing the individual in question,
he would not be able to keep it to himself,
in the MotoGP paddock.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we think that's legit. Please correct us if we're wrong.
And back to the sort of main point of the whole Road to MotoGP program. I mean, what more motivation do some of these young riders need than seeing a fellow Czech rider, if we're talking about Kucharek particularly, fellow Czech rider on a Grand Prix podium here today? No spoilers, even though there's only one in the whole Grand Prix categories. However, no, it's
shall we
this
reveal
is the point
then
of it.
that the man I was talking about earlier, looking for those wet patches, was indeed Filip Salač from the Czech Republic, and his fellow podium finisher in third behind him also said, like, that's really, really smart. He did not have the capacity to think about that when he was in the position he was, trying to hold on to the podium and do everything at once and figure out the conditions on track. So yeah, it could be an interesting one, that if anyone's going to be trying to cool those tyres down, obviously on the main straight is where it dries out first.
Did also just have the Polish rider Mateusz Molik, and a special shout out for him because he's part of MotoGP league commentator Steve Day's own racing team. Oh, sorry, that's Speed Day from Racing Team Junior. Sorry, we have actually been joking with Steve about that throughout the whole weekend.
We have fellow MotoGP commentator Matt Burt genuinely read that on first attempt on the timing screen. Yeah, that's where it came from. So yeah, really great. And the guy you just saw on your screen there as well, Lennox Famara, shout out to him, Swiss rookie. Really, really good job yesterday.
Yeah, fourth place.
Kind of solid start and then just moved his way through, and yeah, top 5 in 4th place in the end, and really in that battle.
And also to Dustin Schneider behind him, because Schneider started way down on the grid in comparison, in 12th position, moved his way up to 5th place as well. But Kisbichler behind them, another rider who had a great run out, started 10th, but actually might have been a bit disappointed with 6th at the end of that, given he was fighting for the podium before.
Yeah, he was, and then faded a little bit, and then by the end of the race, yeah, Schneider and Famara had just got the measure of him and managed to. Here's the man himself there. Speaking of Kisbichler, he shall appear, as the phrase goes. But yeah, Austrian then. Good race though, nevertheless. Like 6th place last year, he would have been really, really delighted with, I think. But after he had been, just with a little bit of time in hand, looking like he could at least hold on to 4th maybe, just fading in his last couple of laps. But nevertheless, a great performance. And it was also a great performance from the number 44 as well, that you just saw on your screens there. But yeah, I don't know what we're going to see today.
Well, engines on, the safety car's coming around the back of the grid. We're going to have the warm-up lap, and then we're going to go racing for the final time here for the Northern Talent Cup in Le Mans. What an excursion it's been for them, a real race into the unknown, not just from the conditions, but also they've never raced on such a big stage at this, in front of their heroes. This is where they want to be in their future of their careers, and this is just the start of their road to MotoGP. That is Lorenz Luciano, who took the win yesterday, taking off today from 2nd on the grid. Rossi Moore, the 92, on pole position, I remind you.
Yeah, exactly. So everyone away then. Let's hope we can avoid any incidents on the warm-up lap after we saw it. Was it Noah Kuipers, wasn't it? Went down. It seems no harm done. He's back on the grid in the right position. But yeah, so obviously still pretty treacherous, but even more so mainly because they don't really know what the track is like when they're coming to it on this lap. It's been a little while since they filed out to head to the grid. So it's all about trying to gain as much information now as they can before they move around to line up.
Do I see it's also raining once again on the start and finish straight? I think it is. There's rain falling on our commentary box window, which is about level with just as they start to tip in towards turn 1. So I think, to be honest, that can only be good news, because they'll all have wet tyres fitted, and so this will help the track stay wet for the duration of the race. Yeah,
it's probably going to at least keep the conditions a little bit more constant for a while, but it seems a little bit calmer out there though. The rain's certainly not hammering down at 90 degrees as it was as I enjoyed my scenic route to the commentary box.
But you can tell from the cameraman there getting buffeted all around the wind, it is very, very windy indeed.
Still a little bit windy, yeah. So yeah, we'll have to see then. You can see there, yeah, it says raining on the graphic as well, helpfully. Although the wind, that lap looks a little bit slow, I think. 11 kilometres an hour.
Fan, I've never seen the garage vert at that angle before. I did not realise how downhill it was down to the double right-hander.
Yeah, it's some of it strange, isn't it? When you suddenly see a different angle, it's like, oh, wow, okay.
So no wonder so many riders go down there.
I have to pull you up on that. Please, garage vert.
Oh.
Please, vert.
Well, I try hard enough with doing the riders a justice of pronouncing their names correctly as well. I'm not as multilingual as I wish.
For the French-speaking Belgians.
Yeah, absolutely. Well then, so the riders come around in towards the final sector in the stadium section of the circuit. We'll be going racing very, very shortly. Number 44 there, as you rightly mentioned earlier, Fran, had a respectful run out. Tibor Varga, the Hungarian rider, but it's still a double long lap penalty, I think it was, for the jump start.
I think he had a 2-place grid penalty anyway.
Absolutely, yeah, for speeding a pit lane.
Yeah, and then a double long lap, and still really, really impressive stuff from the number 44. So I have to see how he goes now, if he's not got too many hurdles or extra hurdles in his way. Did say yesterday as well, he has sort of moved through before to ride at the front, so could be one to watch in these conditions. But here we go then, we're lining up.
Yeah, all eyes on the front row, because you've got yesterday's winner versus the clear fastest rider so far throughout pre-season testing and free practice. We're on board with him now, Rossi Moore. And I've got to say, although he is a very, definitely a youngster at only 13 years of age, I'm very sorry to say he's already taller than I am. I mean, I'm 5'8".
And he comes from mini bikes. Imagine what challenge that was.
Well, no wonder, thank goodness he's moved up, because that thing, it must have been a huge top speed deficit, so he must have been an absolute demon in the corners. Anyways, we digress. There is your winner from yesterday. The revs are going to be going up. The person at the front of the grid with the red flag will depart as soon as the green flag waves at the back of it. The lights will come on and we'll go racing once again here in the Northern Talent Cup. It's go! As we've come too late to the lights, unfortunately. We're already racing here in the Northern Talent Cup race 2. Rossi Moore doesn't get the whole shot this time. That will be going towards Lorenz Luciano, yesterday's winner. Rossi Moore taking it far more steadily in towards turn 1. He's just been absolutely swamped, Fran. What's happened? Did he miss a gear? Are we all going to be safely through turn 3? Because this is the real danger corner, particularly in these conditions. All very easily through. Barely any lean angle. I mean, Rossi Moore's done exactly the right thing there. He's made it further this race than he did this time yesterday.
Yes, he has. And if he does have the pace, which we can probably expect him to have, then yeah, there's really no need. He's not going to win the race in the first lap, but he could certainly lose it, as he found out yesterday. So a little bit cautious, but you could see everyone as well. Yeah, like we said, so upright through there. No lean angle, just trying to figure out the conditions. Now we've had even more water on track, but it's pretty much as you were though. Yeah. 81 and 59, we've seen this before.
Yeah, we have. Bit of deja vu from yesterday, and for other Belgian fans, Noah Kuipers started from pit lane thanks to his sighting lap predicament that he found himself in.
You pointed at the screen, but I didn't get a chance to get it out.
Yeah, no problem. Well, they come down into Garage Vert as we see Lorenz Luciano versus Goretzky once again. And look at that then, the man from third place yesterday, Kucharek, the other JRT Brno circuit rider, right on their tail. He's not letting them get away this easily this time around.
Yeah, good start then from the 3 guys who locked out the podium yesterday. Once again, Goretzky right on the tail of Luciano, but Kucharek,
near enough the same.
Really, yeah, it really is, isn't it? It's almost like a replay. We promise, if you are watching the Race 2 broadcast, this is Race 2, we can confirm.
But we have got Beekmans in 4th place.
We have. It looks like Goretzky then looking a little bit impatient to move through, but I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't want to lead at this stage with the conditions like this, but if he does think he can go a hell of a lot faster, maybe he will make a move.
A real step into the unknown, these conditions, isn't it, once again, although many of them did have most of a race on it yesterday. Actually, I wonder, looking at the spray coming off the wheels at certain points on the track, this might actually be significantly wetter than yesterday was, in which case it would be.
Yeah, I think it is now. We had that extra little downpour that we saw on the sighting lap, but yeah, definitely plenty of spray showing this is very much a wet race at the moment, but you can see the patches on the start-finish straight, and it looks like Goretzky might be going for the lead then.
Yeah, he does. Moves up the inside in towards turn 1 and 2. And just keeping on a look on our timing screens, and Rossi Moore is down in 15th place, 14th position, so taking it very, very cautiously in this opening lap or so. But we do have Goretzky out front now. Did I hear just a bit of scraping carbon fibre in the background on my headset? I hope not. But meanwhile, yes, I did, because that is the number 48 down. That is Lennox Famara, who had a great race yesterday. 4th position, but down and out at turn 3 this time around for the Swiss.
Yeah, that's a big shame then for the Swiss rider. I heard that as well. I was like, no. But at least turn 3 then, classic going in.
Oh, and down it goes.
Just says goodbye pretty early on as well, but at least not too fast to crash. Rider up and okay. He might be able to rejoin as well. I wouldn't be surprised. Just coming to a nice slow start and just feeling a bit of heartbreak then after that incredible race yesterday.
God, look at the spray coming off the rear wheel of your leader. This is Lorenz Luciano we're on board with, is it? Or is it Goretzky? I'm not sure what's happened in the last. It is Luciano that we're on board with. We were on board with that that point. So yeah, still significantly wet down at that part of the circuit. Bit drier up towards the start and finish straight then.
It is, yeah. So Goretzky then, he's really made a break for it already.
Wow.
Got a good few tenths as the number 59. So impressive stuff once again from the Czech rider. And we can see as well, Cas Beekman's today really in this fight at the moment. The Dutchman in fourth, but right on the tailpipes of the second JRT Brno circuit machine.
This is the real beauty of having two races in the Talent Cup format over the course of Grand Prix weekends, one on the Saturday, one on the Sunday. These riders have a full night's sleep to mull over with areas where they went wrong. And look at that, the number 56 trying to move up the inside. Kutzerek has a look, and a bit of a twitch on the exit there. Did try and make a move on Luciano, but not close enough this time. But
yeah, you can see Beekman's then as well, heading a little bit wider, just seeing that twitch, like, please don't take me down as well. But pretty much as you were then, although Kutzerek lost a good few meters there, I wouldn't be surprised to see Beekman start to think about a move soon if that gap doesn't come down again.
Well, across the line they come once more, and clearly Goretzky has done a significant amount of work overnight. And look at these lap times, though, a 2:08.44. Well, compare that with some of the fastest lap times we saw yesterday. We saw the best race lap from Jakub Goretzky, a 1:57. So we're some way off that at the moment.
Yeah, we are, but it was pretty dry by the end of the race yesterday. But yeah, I was just going to say then, we're going to go on Rossi Moore watch. Here is the number 92. So solid job so far. Like we said, you can't win it in the first laps. Stayed upright today, obviously just getting used to these conditions and not wanting to repeat that mistake. Currently not on to score a point, but there are a good few laps left here. It'd be interesting to see what the Hungarian can do from there.
Big fan of the sticker on his helmet as well, just to notify everybody. Born in the USA. Springsteen fan as well, maybe?
Well, I was going to say, I'm not sure. I was going to do some quotes, but then I'm not sure the Vietnam War is the the best allegory for this.
No, but yeah, the good. Well, his dad, we certainly know, is a Valentino Rossi fan, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
And this is the replay from the start of him getting a bit swamped.
Yeah, you could see, but everyone cleanly through at the start today, which is good to see. Everyone very, very careful, like we said, pretty upright in that first lap. But this guy, though, really just impressive again from Goretzky. Like I said yesterday on the broadcast, he had a bit of bad luck last year, but had consistently been one of the fastest guys, as had the two guys just behind him. So yeah, it's great to see that again this season, and just really making their mark for the Czech riders and Luciano. And today, Beekman's really big step forward, really good stuff from him. And shout out to the man in fourth, who is now Tibor Varga as well.
The man in fifth, you mean? No?
I do mean fifth.
Tibor Varga, so yeah, some great improvements there for the other Hungarian, who yesterday was well and truly on the naughty step in many different ways. But Fran, this is kind of what we saw yesterday, isn't it? I mean, Goretzky out front, but Luciano on the chase, not quite getting away. He was, oh no! Is that Kutzerek down in the background? I think it is. Yes, the Czech rider goes down at the final corner, so it will not be double podium delight for the Czech rider, but it's so easily done.
So easily done. Again, just heard that little scrape in the background and thought, no, someone's gone down. Really bad luck then. We're going to get the replay. He's just going to let go, I think, round about here. Oh no, it's later.
Yeah, so a bit too much gas there for the relative
Yeah,
the relative adhesion available at that part of the corner was not sufficient for his rear tyre, unfortunately.
Is that how we commentate now?
A scientific analysis of that crash there for you all at home. So now 4 become 3, and it's a little bit more spread out. But could Luciano chase down Goretzky once again? He didn't that time around, because Goretzky was the only rider in the 2:06 bracket. Luciano was in the 2:07s, about half a second slower that time around, but he did this yesterday. I don't think we need to worry yet that this will be a runaway victory from the Czech rider.
Yeah, I think at the moment he's doing a great job, isn't he, Goretzky, once again to lead. But like you say, is yeah, Luciano again not too far off, not quite on the same pace at the moment, but also keeping it nice and calm. And we've got 12 laps to go, and so there's plenty time left here. But
Cas Beekman, shout out to the Dutchmans watching, as you've got someone to cheer for here on the podium here today again, and that has actually now moved Tibor Varga up to 4th position. Good for him. The Romanian Apostchuk just behind him as well.
Yeah, I obviously saw that coming. I was just ahead of the game. But no, great job then from the number 44. And Hostchuk, a little bit surprised, but I think after the crash yesterday, the number 6 probably just taking it a little bit more cautious after having gotten bitten so early on. But yeah, good top 5 25 though, that would be some good points for him, as we expect him to be pretty pacey throughout the season. Rossi Moorwatch though, still down in 16th at the moment, obviously finding it quite tricky today.
Yeah, has moved up a singular place on the number 12 of Martin Vince, but another Hungarian. So clearly a big battle going on there for the final points, I believe. So we'll get a good look at what the timings are as they come around one more time to click down to 11 laps to go. But Goretzky just getting in a groove, another 2:06 lap time. But has Luciano responded? Almost, because he's now in the real low 2:07 to 2:07.1 that time around, compared to Goretzky's 2:06.6.
Yeah, so that was the Belgians' fastest lap, but unfortunately not the fastest lap, which once again was Goretzky, like you say. Here we go then, good little duel between Kitzbichler and Willemsen. So these guys both probably want a little bit more than 6, because they both had a solid race yesterday, Kitzbichler especially, but good job so far. And yeah, it'd be interesting to... Oh, I thought we were going to get a move there. I was going to cut myself off. But still looking very cautious though, but great to see them up in the mid-top 10.
Yeah, absolutely is, and just a bit of a moment to appreciate the beautiful KTMs that we have here in the Northern Talent Cup. Different machinery than what these riders can be used to should they move up the road to MotoGP program, or a comparison to some of the other Talent Cup programs that we have. Very, very impressive little production Moto3 machines.
Most definitely, and the Prustel livery as well, the Prustel junior team of Noel Willemsen, sorry. It looks great because you've got that blue dot on the front of the rest of them, but they've gone pretty different and put that into part of their obviously team colours, almost the same compared to the Austrian flag on the front of Kitzbichler's. I do love it. There's some great colours in it. It's almost got quite an old school vibe as the NTC. I
think, yeah, with that number it definitely has actually. It's I think that's what
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, quite
and
admire about it.
It smelled amazing in the tent when I first went in on Thursday.
What, someone's aftershave or the bikes?
Absolutely not, no, just the bikes. Okay. All in close quarters, and it was a fairly nice day then as well. It was just great. It was like 1976 if I'd been there to enjoy it at the time.
Well then, fascinating. I didn't actually get a chance to go into the tent. They do walk past it in the morning, so I probably should have stopped by before my PCR test to have a look. But yes, it is really great to see them a part of the MotoGP paddock here this weekend. And hang on. No, the number 56 has rejoined.
Yes, he has. He has.
So, wait a minute. But Goretzky moves past him, 10 laps to go then. 3.3 seconds down to Luciano that time around. A 2:05 now for Goretzky. It's still a 2:07 for Luciano. So Goretzky finds himself in a complete world of his own. Yeah,
so Luciano there, that's pretty constant pace, almost no difference to his last lap around. But Goretzky then really in the groove now. He's either perfectly in the groove, just putting in an incredible performance, or he's really pushing, because yeah, second and a half is quite some gap. You see there Luciano going around the outside of Kotsarek after the other Czech rider crashed out.
Very nicely done.
So it's kind of actually we're on track, but sadly for the number 56 won't be a third place when it shuffles out.
Yeah, as we continue, more watch though, given that he's been such a fascinating character in the build-up to this season. It's still 53 seconds down, but only 0.4 of a second separates him from Schneider ahead of him in 15th. So the points are coming.
Yeah, the points are coming. There's a bit of a group there from 12th place to complete the points, which Moore is part of. So yeah, it could be interesting by the end of the race. There's a few riders in some clear air, and that Kitzbichler-Willemsen duel rolls on as well. So, but this guy as well, really impressive stuff then from Cas Beekmans. He's still looking nice and solid in third place there. Oh, Kotsarek got his hand up there. I don't know if he's got a bit of an issue.
Could well be pulling off, perhaps. Let's see. And also another shout out to Julius Caesar up there in 8th position. Yesterday finished the race in 12th, so this is good progress from Julius Caesar.
It is, it's great. Yeah, good stuff from the number 24 with the incredible name. He's in a little bit of free space as well. He's not got too much pressure from behind and a little bit off the riders in front as well. So a bit of a lonely ride there, which can be a really big challenge as well. And like, obviously, you know, racing wheel to wheel, that's a whole different ballgame, but just being by yourself on track in tricky conditions as well. I think earlier on Riccardo Rossi said he was trying to struggle to keep his mind on the game and not think about his dog and just normal life and let thoughts get into his head. So it can be difficult, and I think it's going to become increasingly difficult for Luciano now, because it looks like he is becoming more and more stranded there in second as Goretzky pulls away. Is he going to be able to respond at any point, or is he going to have to settle for that second and just keep it calm and take those points?
Yeah, because it's not just about who gets the points, who gets the wins, who gets the championship. This is demonstrating your ability to deal with pressure, your critical thinking throughout the races, and how much you're able to learn race by race, lap by lap, corner by corner, really impress the rider coaches if you want to progress beyond the Northern Talent Cup as well.
Yeah, exactly. So this is positioned before the sort of Moto3 Junior World Championship.
Number 24 has gone down. That's Julius Caesar's gone down. Disaster for Caesar.
That's a shame then. We were just saying, great race from him. Looks up and okay. Wouldn't be surprised if he can rejoin. 10-14, it's a tricky one, isn't it? It's caught out a few people today. Another kind of high side, just losing it on the exit there onto the main straight. But yeah, rider okay, which is always the main thing. And hopefully at least if he can get back on and get in the race, he can get a little bit more experience under his belt as well.
Yeah, that also is another crucial thing as well. Sadly, the charge for a personal best result then is over for young Julius Caesar. But meanwhile, still looking very, very strong, Jakub Goretzky coming down in towards turn 10, the stadium section. Those clouds in the background, fam, we know how windy it is, and they're getting ever closer, aren't they? We could have a second bout of rain coming on here.
Remember yesterday when we had to put some stuff on the window to stop ourselves getting blinded by the end of the race?
Today. Yeah, exactly.
It's still very, very grey out there.
Very sunny yesterday.
Bibendum cheekily looking at us straight through the window as well. But yeah, it does look like, wouldn't be surprised if we had another shower before the end of this race. But like we said, the wind as well, don't know, maybe it'll pass us over, not quite sure. But Goretzky then, 2:04.9 now.
A fastest lap of the race once again, a 2:07 from Luciano. So Goretzky just in a world of his own, really on another level in this race. This will really impress the rider coaches and the organisers. This is the type of win, if you're going to take one, that you really want in front of the whole MotoGP paddock community. A young Czech rider, clearly inspired by what he saw earlier on at about 11:40 local time.
Yeah, no, this is a great ride, and we've seen him win in the dry. So it's not like, you know, wet weather specialists, just got into a great position and then dealt with the conditions so well. Goretzky has been quick in different conditions at different tracks already, and this is a real masterclass now from the number 59.
Interesting hand position there on the outside of on the left handlebar, just sort of barely clinging onto it, kind of very lightly pushing it, and that aero tuck's pretty impressive as well. Oh no, the number 77 has gone down. One of the Proust machines out of, well, which place was that? The top 5 perhaps?
Yeah, they were. I know it was the fight for 6th, I think, wasn't it, with Kitzbichler? Yeah. So sadly then the Proust junior team rider has gone down. But he is okay, but looks like he might not be able to get that bike going again.
Is it going to be another high side coming out of that one? Yes, it is. Oh, it went very, very late, didn't it? In true Jammer Masia style.
Yeah, honestly, that corner has bitten a few people today.
A bit of a face plant as well.
That was a real, we won't spoil the MotoGP result, but that was, he's in quite talented company with that crash today.
Yeah, and well, confirmation Julius Caesar has rejoined the race, so that's good news. Some more experience coming his way around here, and the clouds definitely rolling in a bit more. There's none of that sun peeking around as we come round towards the final sector with Jakub Goretzky again, turning dark and could well have a downpour very much incoming.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised, but this guy, I'm sure, will be hoping not. Really in the groove in these conditions. You can see there's a pretty good dry line through most of the track, but there's still some good puddles in places. And obviously,
and Luciano nearly sends it out of the seat into the final corner.
Just going to say,
my
at
goodness,
the final corner, there's obviously still a wet patch, and perfectly illustrated there by the number 81. Well held, but I'm sure that will be another warning, just telling him, set off for second today. Take the 20 points. Got a race win already.
I think the universe is telling him you've got no choice. Meanwhile, Cas Beekman's, in comparison to the lap times being set in front of him, Luciano was a 2:07 that time around. Beekman's comfortably still in the 2:08. So the third place is his if he wants it, and that's Thibaut Varga getting out of shape as well from the final corner too.
Yeah, so there's obviously a real tricky patch there, just coming onto the start-finish straight. But yeah, Varga did a good job then there, and Huschuk as well. He's making his way back through again, the Romanian. Yeah, overtaken Varga in the recent laps then, so this could be a bit more of a tasty battle for 4th position. It's pretty much a done deal if all stays the same over the next 7 laps for positions 1, 2 and 3. But still plenty to contest for P4. Kitzbichler still behind them, 6th place. Then Kevin Farkas, close friend of Rossi Moore there in 7th place, the number 28. And Rossi Moore watch continues up to P13. Yeah, so in the points now then. And for Mara as well, he had a crash early on. He's back in the points as well, actually just ahead of Moore according to the timing screens. So that's really impressive once again from the Swiss rookie. And shout out to Jordan Bartuka as well. From the back of the grid once again. He did it yesterday before sadly the race came to an earlier end after some early heroics. But really good once again, because he was very heartbroken to have destroyed his bike in qualifying and sadly not been able to really do a representative lap.
Yeah, real shame that, but unfortunately only broke the bike and not himself, and able to get out there and put in this stellar performance so far. Don't want to jinx it, of course. We've done that plenty of times here in Le Mans, but then again there have been well over 100 crashes and it's very easy. I hope we've not done it. Who is it? The number 68.
I think it's Beekmans.
It's Beekmans who's gone down. Oh dearie me, so it's not guaranteed by any stretch of the imagination. The Dutchman is down, trying to rejoin. Could rejoin in a fairly competitive position, shaking his head. Turn 10.
Looks like he's still going then. Yeah, just getting a bit of a helpful push there from the Marshal.
But where is Beekman's rejoin?
Not sure. Actually, that's a bit of a few stones coming out the back of that bike as well. Hopefully nothing too serious there.
Okay, so he's been pushed down the order because this is Hoschuk coming round, who's now going to be in effective 3rd place. Beekman's down to 6th, so not a complete total disaster. Yeah,
there's another something we saw in Moto 3 as well, actually. Crashing and still able to make that count. But yeah, good to see then Beekman's back in this race. But yeah, Jacopo Hoschuk then a little bit more cautious today than yesterday after he'd had that crash, and it's paying dividends now, on for a podium if he can fend off Varga behind him.
Over half race distance to go, and the battle now for 3rd is heating up between a Hungarian rider and a Romanian as well. So this is really, really excellent stuff from these young riders. And behind them, well, as Beekman's been pushed down to 6th place, Kevin Farkas has moved up to 7th as well. Hungarian motorsport looking in good shape. I suppose many a dads were inspired by Gabor Taumashi back in the Grand Prix series back in 2008, because that's around the time that many of these young chaps were born, or they were just of a very young age. So I think putting 2 and 2 together.
And yeah, and of course MotoGP is supposed to be returning to Hungary as well in a few years. So yeah, it's looking good, but great performances for them. We must apologise though for our Hungarian and Romanian pronunciations. They're really not on a par. We can't. We try our best though, as are these guys doing now. Varga really has just kind of pulled in a few meters on Hoschuk there, looking like he might be in a position to make an attack scene. Yeah, look at that gap progression then.
Yeah, impressive stuff from Varga, reeling in the young Romanian. So this could be a great battle. Kitzbichler in the background, ready to pick up any pieces should a coming together occur over the next 6 laps. This is a prime overtaking opportunity here into the Shimano Buff S's, but Varga thinks better of it this time around. And what about turn 10? And are we looking at some more rain coming down?
Yes, I was just going to say, look at the window.
It's proper raining on our window as well. So yeah, conditions starting to, well, are they deteriorating, or because of these wet tyres, how worn are they? Yeah, are they actually improving? But look at that, Varga lost a heck of amount of space there, and a big gap now to Hoschuk just ahead of him. Clearly a bit spooked by the conditions, I suppose.
Yeah, it must be so difficult when you don't really know if the conditions have changed so quickly on your visor, and suddenly you get rain there, and then you head into a whole new corner on the track that you've not been round as it starts to rain again. You're just not going to know what conditions exactly await you. But look now down the main straight then, you can really see it's getting wet out there once again.
Yeah, exciting stuff then. 5 laps to go here in the Northern Talent Cup Race 2, and the battle for 3rd has taken a bit of a dramatic turn, but the battle for 1st is fairly non-existent. It seems to be this man well and truly in charge. Jakub Goretzky, the Czech rider, looking very, very much in charge.
He has very much checked out.
Oh, there we go. That was...
I was really shocked you didn't go for it, to be honest. That's what I was expecting.
It's been a long day with the commentating right at the start of it and now at the end of it. Yeah, exactly. You got way the better of me there. He's coming up on the first lapper in this race now, the number 25 of Kimi Gunderman, the Swiss rider who got to meet, well, one of his heroes here this weekend already, didn't he?
He did indeed, yes. It was quite nice as well. One of the Petronas guys in the media centre, when race 1, I think there was a replay on or something, it was like, oh, where's our guy? So he obviously made a nice little connection there with Gunderman. But yeah, so one lapped runner then to go around. It can always be a bit of a complicator for the guys at the front, but so far in the NTC we've seen really great respect of the blue flags getting out of the way, really good racecraft and kind of knowledge of what's happening around them. But yeah, I don't know, this looks so different at different parts on the track. Like here looks completely dry.
Well, it'll be drier, less spray. There'll be a significantly less spray, drying, but yeah, but whereas that part of the circuit previously was the wettest part of the track, now it's actually the fun straight again.
Yeah, it's really changeable in different parts of the track. So this guy though still just pounding on, increasing that lead.
But you can see the conditions have actually deteriorated then, judging by the lap times now setting at 2:09 last
We've
time
gone
around.
a few seconds backwards, haven't we, with that shower. So it'll be interesting to see though if he really does slack off any more, Goretzky, because he still was the quickest guy of the lead 2 last time around. So obviously a bit more cautious, but nothing too dramatic.
Well, with 4 laps to go, he can afford to drop about 2 seconds per lap if he so wishes, and still potentially win this race from Luciano. So the man who finished 2nd place looks like he could well get a win, so it could be even Stevens heading into round 2 in quite a few weeks' time. When is the next round? I forget.
When is the next round? It's actually very soon. I think it's next weekend.
Ah, fantastic.
Ooh, and we've had a small earthquake outside the back of the commentary box.
Oh, I think that's the wind taking one of the doors of the next door.
It is indeed. But yeah, no, these guys are back on track pretty soon. So it's exciting times for them after waiting a while to get going, a bit longer than we expected. So yeah, now we've got the debut at Le Mans and then straight back on track. So here we go then, Rossi Moore watch. We've now got him on camera in this battle for the points. So at the moment in 15th, I think the graphics do
who's
keep
that down?
changing.
The number 65's gone down that time around. That is Bersenkool.
Yeah, that's bad luck then again. Is that at the same place as well? Really biting a lot of people is the outside of turn 14 then. Obviously just a little bit keen on the gas and just flicking themselves over into that gravel there, but no such trouble for this man. On he goes at the front.
Yeah, great stuff then, but Bersenkool 2 crashes, I think in the same corner, isn't it then? Was it, did Bersenkool go down at turn 3? No, it's final turn, I think
it was the final turn, yeah, absolutely.
So his form at the final turn unfortunately continues. You're absolutely right though, I realised the Oschersleben is the next round of the Northern Talent Cup, so the scene of where the pre-season testing all took place.
Exactly, yeah, so it's good news for Moore. If he could just get a few points here, he knows that last time they were at Oschersleben, he really had the measure of the rest. So interesting stuff. We've just got Bersenkool then has entered the pits, so his race sadly over after that spill. But rider up and okay at least. Bit of a heartbreaker so late on though, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, with 3 laps to go, the battle for the podium is reignited. 0.2 of a second split Varga and Hoschuk, as it looks like Varga was 0.7 of a second quicker than Hoschuk last time around. So this is on once again. It's significantly wetter here this time around as well. With the sun poking through, I mean, how much can the conditions change in 3 laps? Hopefully not too much, because this could be getting exciting for the end of the race.
Yeah, it really could. Bit of a wet weather duel to the end. That's going to be a little bit spicy, I think, between these two. But so last time around then, Hoschuk just a little bit more time in hand, but yeah, they're very close together still, and we've still got a few laps to go. So this looks like it's going to be the main duel at the end of the race then.
Kiss-Pickler just behind them, as I mentioned, ready to pick up any pieces. In 5th place, Beekmans has recovered very well from his crash at the final corner to maintain that 6th place from Farkas, who's also come across the line as well. But it's Farkas, well, 1.6 seconds behind Beekmans, so it's not all completely signed, sealed and delivered yet for that 6th spot.
Yeah, especially given the conditions, the gaps can change quite a lot quicker than you'd probably see in the dry. So yeah, it's good few battles here on track. Like we say, Kitzbühler looks like he might just be out of touch with this unless there's real drama ahead of him, but a good solid 5th place for the Austrian once again. And Rossi Moore, it says on our time screens, now up into 10th, so that's exciting.
Brilliant. Wow, he's made serious progress over the last couple of laps then, because it looked sort of pretty uncatchable from 13th to sort of 12th position, as they had a fairly big gap, didn't they? But what is the lap times we're looking at now? 10 seconds up the road is Lennox Famara, the Swiss rider who went down, so he's remounted as well from his crash at turn 3.
Him and Beekmans have done well to get back in this and stay calm and just ride around and get some really good points. I mean, they're good finishes for those guys anyway.
Yeah, how many people could say that after crashing out in such spectacular style in a race? But 1.5 laps to go then, and this is the battle for third. It's really heating up. It says on your timing screen 0.2 of a second, but that means very, very little in this respect. More than enough for a bit of a lunge coming from the Hungarian on the final lap on the Romanian. What about Kispiklo? It seems to be closing them in.
It does actually,
a little
yeah.
bit.
Maybe I spoke too soon.
Yeah, this is the penultimate lap. One more lap to go. That's the number 24 who went down earlier as well. Julius Caesar went down at the final corner. He's about to get lapped this time around. But we're going to be coming in. Well, actually, no, it's sorry. Oh no! Varga's gone down. Disaster! Just nearly at the final hurdle. I mean, all he had to do was a couple more laps, and Tibor Varga has gone down. What a shame for the Hungarian. He's distraught.
Yeah, he looks pretty angry at that. It must be so frustrating, so close to the end of the race, like we said. And just that same patch there, it's caught so many guys out. But yeah, sadly then, the number 44 out of that podium fight, and it's Hostjuk with it to lose unless Kispikler can really make up that gap. Let's have a look from this angle then. Yeah,
he's barely
carbon copy.
Yeah, barely even. Got it tilted over, and the rear just went away from him. Down he went. Fortunately up and okay. The airbag's gone off. He's not been down the gym. But that gives Hostjuk the well and truly definitive third place here. Just has to bring it home, because the gap back to the next rider is... well, it's 2 seconds. It's going to wriggle on a little bit, but it's 35 seconds up the road to Luciano, who's got that second place absolutely sorted. Or has he? The number 92, Rossi Moore's had his second crash in 2 races, and that's also at the final corner. So that's not ideal for 2 Hungarian riders on the very same lap.
Yeah, that's such bad luck then. And it looks like, yeah, Moore crashed out, rider okay, it said. I thought it might have said another name as well, but we'll have to wait and see. Here's a replay then
Farkas
of what
has
happened.
gone down too, Fran.
That's what I thought. I thought it said Kevin Farkas as well. So both of the Ferium Next Generation Riders team riders then on the floor so late on in this race. Absolute heartbreaker for those guys.
Well, at least they only have a few days wait before they can have a go and set things right in the next round. But disaster for Hungary in this last lap, isn't it?
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be such a great day as well. So those guys faced with a bit of a reset then before round 2. But this guy, not so much. Here we go still on the last lap, pretty much by himself now. He's got 16 seconds ahead of Luciano now. So really, really impressive stuff from Goretzky.
He can afford to have a stop and go for a loo break before he actually finishes with that kind of gap. Or, better yet, I don't want to jinx anything. He could afford a little slip-off if he so needed before actually finishing. Coming up on some more lapped riders, or perhaps previously crashed riders as well. But in command then, Jakub Goretzky. A great day for the Czech Republic in motorcycle racing all around. Their future looking very, very nice indeed. He's coming down to Garage Vert this time around. Very tricky double right-hander. Got to be oh so careful here. No need to throw it away now, because as we've just seen over the last 2 minutes, there are far from any sort of guarantees in the Northern Talent Cup.
Yeah, that's made me a little nervous for these guys now after, yeah, so many Hungarian crashes so late on. Real heartbreak for them. But these guys looking pretty steady. Nothing too leery. No moments really that we've seen on screen for quite some time. And Hostjuk as well seems to have really cemented that third place. He's pulled out a lot more time on Kispikler in the last couple of laps. So it looks like the first podium of the season for the Romanian.
And, well, that was the number 7 of Matthias Mulek as it coming round. He will be in 11th place, I think. And he's already, blimey, so he's being lapped by, unless he's gone down as well, has he? No.
Don't think so,
wow.
No, yeah.
I mean, how good is that? I mean, Goretzky coming round to the final sector and final corners is lapping riders who are near enough in the top 10. What a ride this has been then. Coming around the final turn, the Czech rider is going to take the win, so long as he keeps it upright. He does masterfully, comes across the line, takes victory. He'll be equal on points of Luciano heading into round 2 next weekend. What a ride by the Czech rider. And Luciano comes around the final corner
Looks
as well.
So chill.
Yeah, well, I mean, I should hope so, with about 30 odd seconds, but adrift to Hostjuk in second place. The Belgian takes second then, and now it begins the fairly long and frankly nervous wait for the Romanian to come across the line in third.
Absolutely, yeah. When you said that, when we were getting ready for Goretzky to just gun it out the final corner to the line, I was like, well, actually, that's been the danger zone. But great job then from the 2 guys who were also on the top 2 steps yesterday, now reversed. Now it's just down to Hostruck to get it to the line.
And he's got Rossi Moore just behind him, who crashed and remounted. Where is he in the standings? He'll take 1 point then, but this will be his race finish as he has been lapped by the riders. He will take the checkered flag as well. And number 6 takes a podium then. Excellent stuff. He has done what Thibaut Varga was unable to do. Keep it upright throughout that battle. And what a result that is for him and Romania. Kitzbühel will be coming across the line as well. He does in 4th position. And Beekman's from the deck to potentially a 5th place. And same with the number 48 just behind him as well. Lennox, Famara taking that 5th position, 6th position even.
Really impressive stuff from those guys too,
I mean, that's quite a surprise for both of them.
Early on and then still managed to get back and take those finishes. Really great performances there. Obviously, I'm sure they would have preferred to do it without that spill, but nevertheless, great recovery from both. Another great ride from this man as well. A little bit less animated over the line than he was yesterday. Really, really pumped to take that first win, but Goretzky was just in a class of his own today.
Olofsson takes 7th place. There's the number 19 and Bartuka from the back of the grid up to 8th position. Great stuff from Brandl, who failed to finish yesterday. Oh no, who's got down there? The 20. Number 20 of Schneider has gone down as well. At the final corner, we only have 1 more to go. I mean, you can run it across the line if you want.
Yeah, I think you've got to be in contact with your machine over the line, right? Is he going to go for it?
Go on, give it a run. Go on. We like to see those sorts of heroics. Here's what happened. The final corner. Oh, what a disaster. Yes, though, Johan Zarco and Mazzano, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was a good jog, that was, but a great finish. So let's see if Dustin Schneider is going to make it to the line. This man certainly did. Already then back in pit lane is the number 59 of Jakub Goretzky. Really, really impressive performance, that. 17.8 seconds on his next rival and nearly a minute on Hostruck in 3rd.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant stuff, that. So Goretzky, just a superb ride. A great weekend overall for the Czech rider and for the Belgian, who came in 2nd place as well, Luciano. Hostruck, the Romanian, can walk away happy with that one too. A shake of the hand, some great sportsmanship, bit of a community feel with the Northern Talent Cup, like all of the Talent Cup programmes really is. It's a bit of a, well, the MotoGP circus is a travelling circus, but these guys all under one tent in these rookie programmes definitely are as well.
Yeah, most definitely. So just waiting then for, I think we see a white bike in the background as Hostruck's coming in. Yes, he is indeed the number 6. Just, I was going to say, make sure you turn right. You need to go into Parc Ferme today.
Yeah, congratulations.
So, good job from him. Great recovery after yesterday. Like I said, in the early stages, just a little bit more conservative, but that obviously, Soren, keep it on the road this time around. Learn very much from that mistake yesterday. And Kitzbühel, 4th place today. Another great job from the Austrian.
Yeah, really excellent stuff. And you can see, blimey, how tall Hostruck is. The Romanian rider doesn't want to be spending too long on production Moto3 machines, that's for sure. Oh, nice Parc Ferme scenes there, just as it finishes. The sun's coming out as well.
Exactly, I was just going to say, classic, of course, as soon as it finishes. But yeah, I mean, conditions, they didn't get too much worse, at least. We did have that extra shower, but with them on wets already, just got to take that as it comes, try and see how the conditions have changed and keep on keeping on. And that man certainly did that better than anyone today. Really, I'm really impressed with that. We saw him quick last year, but that was a real masterclass, that was.
Yeah, Goretzky finished up the 2020 series in 4th position, was actually the last rider to take a victory in the season as well at race 2 in Brno. So backing that up, only 1 race off the top step of the podium. And how about that then? So Czech flag in the middle, Belgian flag to the left and Romanian to the right. What the Northern Talent Cup is all about. Some nice variety there. See how windy it is as well though, crikey.
Gonna say, yeah, it's still going, isn't it? But I think it's raining again, despite the fact that it's bright sun as well. So that's a nice mixture here at Le Mans to end the day. But yeah, so cool to see then some bit of different nationalities than we see on a podium in Grand Prix level at the moment. And that, of course, is the aim of this programme. Get more of these guys moving up the road to MotoGP. And that man's certainly staking a claim on his chance to do so. Really impressive ride from Goretzky.
Yeah, final results a bit more sporadic than we saw yesterday. 17 seconds down the road was Lorenz Luciano in 2nd place from Jakub Goretzky. Jacopo Hostruck was in 3rd place from Kitzbühel. Beekmans and Famara both crashed not out, but just went down very briefly. Managed to recover to 5th and 6th place. Olofsson 7th from Bartuka, and Brandl in 9th.
Noah Kuipers as well, despite binning it on the way to the grid, took 12th and a few points. So that was, just you got to be in it to win it. And those guys managed to. Justin Schneider managed to be classified in 13th, and Rossi Moore took a point, I think, in the end in 15th, just behind Kimi Gunderman.
Yeah, first of the lap riders was Gunderman, and Julius Caesar, the full last of the finishers. Everybody okay after their accidents, thank goodness. That is the end of racing that we have here today in Le Mans, and we'll get to see these riders come out. The final podium ceremony getting underway very, very shortly, just as the sun has come out too. Positively balmy, I'm sure it is, but it certainly feels that way in the commentary box. We'll be blinded soon enough by the angle of the sun too. Great.
Yep. So, conditions really changed then. Let's look at the championship then. As you can see, 45 points apiece at the top, although Goretzky takes the #1 spot. He just won, I believe. That's why he's there. Luciano, though, 2nd place, and Kit Spichler out from those 2 really consistent rides, taking 3rd. Equal on points as well, though, with Lennox Famara. Cas Beekmans, those 2 guys both crashed today, but both really made those finishes count. And then Hoschuk recovering some points after some ground lost yesterday. So good jobs all round. And I think it's going to be interesting with Rossi Moore now with that single point. Yeah,
still a long way to go in the championship though. Kutsurek, who had such a great run out yesterday, unfortunately fell to the side with 7th position in the championship now. But as you mentioned, Rossi Moore, last place with a singular point, but you've got to start somewhere, and that is the first point on the board.
You have, and next up we have Osher Slaben, where he was the undisputed king of pre-season, and maybe, hopefully, I feel like I've cursed it now, a little bit better weather awaiting us in Deutschland, so we will see. For now, though, look at that mixture of wind, rain and sun.
Well, yeah, thank goodness it's all passed over the circuit and gone in another direction now. Here so begins the podium ceremony, with the flags flying high above the podium. Hoschuk comes out onto the 3rd spot on that podium, and there's a certain young man, Luciano. No, he's got a towel around him. I thought he had a flag wrapped around his neck there as well. And there is your winner, Goretzky, heading out onto the podium as well. And how about this for a dignitary as well? Hopefully he showered since this race, but Miguel Oliveira coming to present the trophies.
Yeah, we had Red Bull KTM Factory Racing's Brad Binder yesterday, didn't we? And now Miguel's turn today. So great to see those KTM guys supporting the Cup, which of course is on KTM machinery.
Yeah, don't need much more motivation than that to continue your rise to the top in the road to MotoGP than being handed your trophy by an actual MotoGP rider.
And we think it's Miguel Oliveira with the hat.
It could be one of his mechanics.
Hat, mask and glasses.
He could have gone back to Portugal already. You could tell.
Quite a look. So Jakub Goretzky then, trophy held high, and now we'll get to hear this time a different national anthem to yesterday from Czechia.
Well then, that must have been a special moment. First time coming to race alongside a MotoGP event. Jakub Goretzky hears his own national anthem atop a Grand Prix podium. I personally remember the last time I heard a Czech national anthem above a podium would have been Karel Abraham back in 2010. At the end
you worked here 11 years ago, did you?
Well, no, I remember watching it live on TV, but,
yeah,
but I'm not sure if that was the last one, though, was it?
I think so. We just had a quick, we think that that's the last time. So great to see the Czech Republic then back on the top step. And here is how it happened.
Yep, so here are the highlights then for Northern Talent Cup round 1, race 2, and Rossi Moore, unfortunately for him, that was the last time he was up in into first position, but it was still a very solid ride from the Hungarian-American. Despite crashing out, still getting a finish and a point on the board. He could take some confidence into that round at Oschersleben, but the race was all about the number 59 in your picture there, Jakub Goretzky, as Luciano him had a bit of a battle to begin with, but it did not resemble yesterday's battle thereafter.
It did not. So you can see then the Czech rider took the lead here and pretty much did not look back from then. Imperious from few crashes though. We'll be seeing a few more of those in the highlights reel, unfortunately. But yeah, Imperious from then on out. Really impressive stuff from the number 59 to pull away. Luciano, great stuff. And is this going to be, yep, that wet patch then on the outside of turn 14? It caught out so many riders.
Yeah, it really did. Normally it's turn 3 that we see plenty of accidents happen, and we nearly saw one then from Luciano, but fortunately he kept it upright, which is one of the main things. This was Thibaut Varga going down and ruining the battle, his battle for third, or any chances of that. And this was Rossi Moore going down towards the end of the race as well. Drama aplenty here, but take nothing away from Jakub Goretzky, taking the victory here from Lorenz Luciano and Horst Chuck. A Belgian, Czech Republic rider and a Romanian on the podium here in the Northern Talent Cup Race 2. Next round is in Oschersleben. See you then.